Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another pizza video. Yes, today we are going to travel all around the world. Well, just 3 places. But this is the first episode of the pizzas from the world. Oh, I don't know. Pizzas from all around the world. That's okay. So, today we are visiting 3 countries. First, we're going to Italy, Napoli. We're going to bake the classical Neapolitan pizza in a home oven, but it's going to look really good and taste also. Then we're going to USA, United States of America, and we're going to Detroit. Yes, we're making the classical Detroit pizza with pepperoni. I know that if you're Italian, I know pepperoni means this red pepper, but it's a salami. Yeah, pepperoni is a salami. So that's the pizza. And then we're going south to Brazil. Yes, Rio de Janeiro or somewhere around there. We're going to make the pizza Frango con Catupiry. See, Frango con Catupiry means chicken with cheese, but in a Brazilian way. Okay, so let's start first with dough. And here is the recipe. Ta-ding! It's a classical Italian biga dough recipe, which is really easy. And with this, we are going to make the 3 pizzas of the day. Remember that you can download my app, Gluten Morgan's Baker's Percentage, for free for Android and iPhone, and then add really easy this recipe into the application, right? Okay, so as I said, this recipe is going to use biga. Come with me. Biga is this. Biga is a pre-ferment just made out of flour and water and a little bit of yeast. The thing is that it's really dry because it has 50% hydration. That means in 1 kilo flour we have 500 grams of water. So it's really, really dry, as you can see. But this is the heart of the recipe. This is going to give a lot of air, taste, and bubbles to the dough. So it's really easy to make it the day before. So we're going to make this pre-ferment the day before, and then we use it in the final recipe with a little bit more of flour, water, and So let's start first with the recipe, how to make this biga. For that, I have my phone, here, and I'll show you the recipe. So here is the formula. It's a little bit in English, a little bit in Spanish, a little bit in Italian, but you can understand. This is the flour, which is around 280 grams, and then goes half of the flour, which is the water. That's going to be 144, and then we have around 6 grams of yeast. So when you use the app, it's really easy to weigh the dough, or maybe one of the ingredients. It's really easy. So let's start with the dough. As I said, 290 grams of flour. I'm using Italian flour, 200 flour, but if you don't have it, you can use also bread flour, it's okay. 288 grams. Oh, too much. Almost there. Ding dong. Whoa. 89. Hey, there. Now, the yeast goes in. This is fresh yeast. If you're using dry yeast, use 1/3 of the weight. And then I need to put 144 grams of water. The half of the weight of the flour. And now it's really simple. You have just to mix this really easy. No problem. No kneading, nothing, just mixing. And that's all. It's a really, really dry dough. This dough that we're making, you can also make ciabattas, you can make focaccia, you can make scacciata, or maybe a bread too. It's just a regular dough done with biga. The secret of the biga, as I said, here is the heart, the core of the recipe. This is going to give a lot of strength to the dough. It's going to make it more tastier, and also much of the flour is here, which is going to pre-ferment the day before, and it's going to be much healthier for us because it's easier to digest this dough because most of the job has been done by the yeast the day before while we make the biga. So the idea is to make the biga, to let it sit or to let it ferment overnight, right? It should be around 16 to 18 hours at around 18 degrees Celsius. Here is the equivalent in Fahrenheit too. So this is the biga. Take a look at it. It's really dry, easy to make. Nothing, there's no gluten development at all. So now we let this dough sit for rest here until tomorrow, and then you end up with this and the next day with the biga. Perfectly done and ready to start with the dough. So in the mixer bowl, we put the biga in pieces. If you want, or you can put it the whole biga like this, but it's better if you put some small pieces. In Italy, they cut it with a knife and put small pieces like gnocchis, but this way is okay too. Okay, biga in, and now I have the rest of ingredients, which are more flour, a little bit of yeast, salt, and water. And I'm also going to use the paddle, which is easier when I'm using this kind of high hydration dough. So flour into the yeast, a little bit of yeast more, it's optional, and the salt in a minute, and the water as soon as I start the machine. Let me put this, so then, there, paddle, and here we go. Whoa. Good. Little bit of water. And here goes the salt. Just a little bit more of water so the machine works easier. And this is the rest of the water that we have. And as I always say, it's not a matter of time. There's no a specific time of mixing. It's just when the dough is ready, or when the dough holds the paddle, or when you see that you have a good gluten development, that is the moment when the dough is ready. So there's no time, because it depends on many factors, like the machine you're using, if you're using a hook or a paddle, which kind of flour, speed that you're using, many things. So the thing is to check the gluten membrane. Okay, let me speed up the machine, and slowly I will add in the rest of water. There's not too much left. Now, let the machine do the job for us. So now we'll add the drizzle of the water very slowly till we finish it. There it goes, and okay. End of the water, no more. Now we just need to wait till the gluten is with us. Okay, take a look. The dough is holding the paddle, so that means that the dough is almost ready. Good. Let's check it out. And let's see. It has to have some kind of strength. Ooh. Wow, a lot of strength. So, looking good. That's what I said. It's not a matter of time. So, the second thing that we need to check is the gluten network. Which seems it's almost perfect. So, that's what you should look for when you're mixing. Not time, just gluten development. Like this. Take a look at this. Take a look at this membrane. Wow, perfect. So this means that the dough is ready. So I'm going to put it on the counter like this. And now I'll finish it with a few stretch and foldings like my friend Richard Bertinet. There. Okay, so it's done. Now I'll put it in a bowl. I'll let it here sit, always covered, till it doubles in size, and then I'll be ready to make pizza. With this dough, or with a few more doughs, we're going to make 3 pizzas today, okay? So, let's start. Let's start with the Neapolitan pizza style. For that, we have our fully fermented dough here in the bowl. So with some semolina, we're going to mold it on the counter and start stretching it. If you don't have some semolina, you can use rice flour too, or just flour. So the first thing is to do the edges, the cornicioni. Yes, that's the pizza crust that we want. We don't need to lose all that air from the fermentation, so the idea is to stretch it, but always keeping that edge full of air. Now with some tomato sauce, just maybe crushed tomatoes, we are going to cover it all around. Yes, not the edges. Always try not to put some sauce on the edges. Now a little bit of salt. Kosher salt or sea salt, it's okay. And now we got some Parmesan cheese. Yes, a little bit of Parmesan cheese is always good in this pizza. Now we continue with some basil leaves, always fresh, and we're going to cut them in small pieces because they smell incredible. And now here comes the cheese. We're going to use fior di latte cheese, which is the right cheese for this kind of pizza. If you don't have this cheese, then use just some regular mozzarella. Low moisture mozzarella. There is no need to use a lot of cheese, just a little bit. Think that the Italians like to do it like this because they want to taste an excellent dough, a gorgeous tomato sauce, and a beautiful cheese. And don't forget always the olive oil. Now with some semolina on the peel, we are going to transfer the pizza very carefully on it, and we are ready to take it to the oven. Here we go. So now I'm using this baking steel, and I'm using the upper level of the oven because I want it to be really, really hot. We are at maximum temperature, around 300 Celsius, which is 570 degrees Fahrenheit. So this pizza is going to be baked really, really fast. And here it is. Take a look at it. Beautiful, just like in Napoli. Beautiful edges, some leoparding too. The cheese is well melted. And now we're going to grate some more Parmesan cheese on top of it. And now using some scissors, we are going to cut it and see that beautiful cornicione, full of air. That was thanks to good fermentation. And as always, the best part, tasting. Oh, this is hot. Oh, mamma mia. Molto buona. Wow. Okay, time for the second pizza. Now we're going straight to Brazil. And we're going to do this Frango and Catupiry pizza, which is chicken and cheese pizza. So now we mold another dough, but this time we're not going to pay too much attention to the edges. We just stretch it all around, making like a circle. Now use some tomato sauce or crushed tomatoes, whatever you have, maybe a passata too. A little bit of salt. And here comes the mozzarella cheese. This is a low moisture mozzarella. You don't need to use an Italian mozzarella. If you want, it's okay, but this kind of cheese is good. And here comes the chicken. In this case, I am just using roasted chicken. Now I cover all the pizza with it. And here comes the Catupiry cheese, which is kind of a Philadelphia cheese, but in a Brazilian way. Now a little bit of onion. It's optional, but I really like it. And some tomatoes too. Now just a little touch of Parmesan cheese, olive oil, and we are ready to take it to the oven, which is really hot. Not that hot, but it's really hot. See you pizza in 8 minutes. And here it comes. Wow, it's bubbling. Take a look at that pizza. Now the final touches of some oregano and some chili flakes, totally optional. Of course, I love them. Wow. Oh, I think it's too much. Good. And finally, the green touch, some basil leaves just for decoration. Some olive oil, a little bit more of Parmesan cheese, and we are ready to cut it up. Wow, take a look at this. Wow, this is a good slice. Take a look at this. Uy, uy, uy. Here I go. Oh, I feel like if I were in Ipanema. Wow. Beep, 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 beep. So now, and here comes the third pizza, and we are in USA. Detroit pizza style. So that's why we have another fully fermented dough, which we are going to mold it and put it in a square and deep mold. And now we're going to stretch it really slowly so we don't lose all the air of the dough. Some tomato sauce. Of course, you can use crushed tomatoes or the sauce that you have. A little bit of salt, and we take it immediately into the oven. Yes, we're going to partially bake this dough. Bake the dough. And the oven needs to be hot, around 270 degrees Celsius, which is around 527 degrees Fahrenheit. And here's this bag. Look how gorgeous and full of air. Look at those bubbles. Wow. But this pizza is not yet finished. Now we're going to make this incredible and crusty cheese edges, typical of this Detroit pizza style. Pay attention because this is really important. We're going to put a lot of cheese on the edges. Yes, on every one of the 4 edges of the mold, okay? Now, yes, a low moisture mozzarella is okay too. But if you want to use an Italian one, go ahead. Yes, this pizza is full of cheese. And here comes the pepperoni. And if you want to make it a little bit more spicy, let's go with the jalapenos. And on top of that, we go again with a little bit more of tomato sauce. Yes, on top of everything. And as usual, some more grated Parmesan cheese. And then we take the pizza back to the oven for around 5 more minutes. And here you have it. Wow, it looks incredible. And it smells incredible. And look at those crispy edges. They are the most delicious thing in this world. But this is not yet finished. Here comes the hot honey. Yeah, hot and sweet. Perfect for the pepperoni pizza. Just a drizzle of it on top of everything, and it's going to be delicious. Yes, if you haven't yet tasted it, you should do that. And yes, I know, a little bit more of Parmesan cheese. Just the final touch. This pizza is so crispy that you won't believe it. Oh, so crunchy. Now take a look at that dough. Full of air. Wow, and that cheese is melting. And hot. I don't want to burn my mouth. Wow. And now, the best part. Well, I don't know if the best part is really hot, this. So, time to try this. Here I go. Wow. So fluffy and spongy and crispy. So we have reached the end of the trip, this pizza trip around the world, but just 3 countries, Italy, USA, and Brazil. Please let me see in comments, write me some comments and tell me which was your favorite pizza. Maybe you know the pizza from Brazil, or maybe you already know the Detroit pizza or Neapolitan pizza, which is worldwide known. But let me see in comments which was your favorite, okay? And of course, I am making more episodes. We are going to travel along the world looking for the best pizza. And I want you to tell me which kind of pizza, which countries do you want me to visit on the next episode, right? So I'll see you on the next episode, and may the gluten be with you all.